My wedding day was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. The sun was shining. The music was perfect. Everyone was smiling. And I was about to marry the man I loved more than anyone. His name was Ethan. We had been together for 4 years. He was kind, funny, and calm. The kind of man who made you feel safe. At least that's what I believed. Our wedding was small, only close family and friends. But there was one person Ethan insisted had to be there, his best friend. Lucas. I had only met Lucas twice before the wedding. He traveled a lot for work. Or at least that's what Ethan told me. Lucas arrived the night before the ceremony. He was tall, quiet, observant, the kind of man who seemed to notice everything. During the rehearsal dinner, he barely spoke, but I caught him staring at me several times, not in a creepy way, more like he wanted to say something, but couldn't. The next day the ceremony began. I walked down the aisle. Ethan was smiling at me. Lucas stood beside him as the best man. Everything felt perfect. Until the moment we said our vows. Right before the officiant asked Ethan if he took me as his wife. Lucas leaned closer to me. Very slightly. So no one else could hear. Then he whispered something, for words that made my heart stop. He said, "You don't know him." I froze. For a moment I thought I misheard him. But when I looked at Lucas, his face was completely serious. No smile. No joke. Just silence. The ceremony continued. Ethan said yes. I said yes. Everyone clapped. We were officially married. But Lucas's words kept echoing in my head. You don't know him. At first I tried to ignore it. Maybe he was drunk. Maybe he was joking. But later that night, something happened that made me realize Lucas wasn't joking at all. Because when I entered the hotel room after the reception, Lucas was standing inside. Waiting for me. I almost screamed when I saw him. "Lucas, what are you doing here?" He quickly closed the door. "Please," he said quietly. "Just listen to me." My heart was racing. "This is my room," I said. "How did you even get in here?" He took a deep breath. Then he said something that made everything worse. "I had to talk to you before it's too late." Before it's too late. I felt cold suddenly. "What are you talking about?" Lucas looked exhausted. Like a man carrying a huge secret. Then he pulled out his phone. And placed it on the table. "Before you married Ethan, you deserve to know the truth." My stomach twisted. "What truth?" He hesitated for a second. Then he showed me a photo. It was Ethan. Standing in front of a house with a woman and 2 children. My brain refused to process what I was seeing. "That's not real," I said immediately. Lucas shook his head slowly. "It is. That woman is named Sarah, and those are Ethan's kids." I felt like the room started spinning. "That's impossible," I whispered. "Ethan doesn't have children." Lucas looked at me sadly. "That's what he told you." Then he opened another photo. Another house. Another picture of Ethan holding the little girl in his arms. "She's 6. Lucas said, "and the boy is 4. My chest tightened. "You're lying." I wish I was. Lucas rubbed his face with his hands. "I tried to convince him to tell you, but he refused. That's why I came to the wedding, because I couldn't let you marry him without knowing." My heart was beating so hard it hurt. "How long?" I whispered. "How long has he been hiding this?" Lucas answered quietly. "Your entire relationship. 5 years. 5 years of lies. 5 years of memories. And suddenly none of them felt real. But then Lucas said something that shocked me even more. "There's something else you need to know." At that moment, the hotel room door opened. Ethan walked in, and he immediately froze when he saw Lucas standing there. "Lucas," he said slowly, "what are you doing here?" Lucas didn't answer. He just stepped back and looked at me. Like the decision was mine. Now Ethan looked between us. Then his eyes landed on the phone on the table. The photos, and his face changed. All the color drained from it. "You told her," Ethan said quietly. Lucas nodded. Double quotes. "Yes. For a moment the room was completely silent. Then Ethan sighed, like a man who had been caught after running for years. I was going to tell you, he said, but his voice didn't sound convincing. After the honeymoon, I stared at him. You have two children. He nodded slowly. Yes, and a wife. Ex-wife. He corrected quickly. We divorced 3 years ago. I felt numb. So why didn't you tell me? Ethan didn't answer immediately. Then he finally whispered the truth. Because I knew you wouldn't stay. And the worst part was, he was right. I looked at the man I had just married hours ago. And realized something terrifying. I didn't know him at all. Lucas had been right. You don't know him. That night I left the hotel alone, still wearing my wedding dress. 3 months later, the marriage was officially annulled. But the story didn't end there. Because a year later, I ran into Lucas again. At a small coffee shop. He smiled when he saw me. And said something unexpected. I'm glad I told you the truth. Then he asked if I wanted to sit down. And talk. And that conversation changed my life in a way I never expected.
Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with new stories every day.